Hello again! In this video, we will continue the explanation of the chapter 4, consonant sequences. We will study the second type of consonant sequences, which is final consonant sequences. So, without further ado, let's get started. Final consonant sequences. Sequences of consonants at the end of words are more varied than at the beginning. This is mainly because of the following. First, se or ze have to be added to most nouns to give their plural forms, as in cats, facts, etc. Second, to or de have to be added to most verbs to form their past tense, as in raised, risked, etc. Third, the is used to form nouns like strength, breadth, and to form numerals like fifth, but put into consideration that all these can have plurals, as in strengths, breadths, fifths. So, these are the ways that can lengthen the consonant cluster. With that being said, let's start with final consonant sequences. Types of final consonant sequences. The first type of final consonant sequences is stop plus stop, when one stop consonant is immediately followed by another, as in kept and act. The closure of the speech organs for the second consonant is made whilst the closure for the first consonant is still in position. Let's explain what will happen in the sequence p plus t. The lips are closed for p and the ears compressed as usual by pressure from the lungs. Then, with the lips still closed, the tongue tip is placed on the alveolar ridge ready for t, so that there are two closures. Then the lips are open, but there is no explosion of the air, because the tongue closure prevents the compressed air from bursting out of the mouth. Finally, the tongue tip leaves the alveolar ridge and the air explodes out of the mouth. So, in conclusion, there is an important thing that you should be aware of. When the sequence is composed of stop plus stop, there is only one explosion for the two stops. The first stop is incomplete. What happens if stop consonant follows the same stop consonant? When the stop consonant follows the same stop consonant, i.e. k plus k, so in look carefully, or when one of the strong weak pairs, per b or ter de or ke ge, is followed by the other, as in what day, there is again only one explosion, but the closure is held for double the usual time. But the matter is different for ch and j. The friction part of the sound is never missing. So in which chair, large jug, the ch and j are complete in both places. Clearly speaking, there are two explosions. But what happens if three stop consonants come together, as in strict parent? There is still only one explosion, that of the third consonant, but what usually happens is that the first consonant is formed and held for longer than usual. The second consonant disappears altogether. The third consonant is formed and exploded normally. We might write strict parent as strict parent, where k represents an exploded k held for longer than usual. The second type of final consonant sequences is stop plus nasal, when t or d are followed by a syllabic n, as in button and garden. The explosion of the stop takes place through the nose, and it's called nasal explosion. If you want to define the nasal explosion, we will say, nasal explosion is the release of the stop consonant by lowering the soft palate, causing the compressed air to burst out through the nose. There are plenty of examples in the book. We'll pass them, but you have to study them. The third type of final consonant sequences is t or d plus l. T and d are made with the tongue tip on the alveolar ridge and the sides of the tongue firmly touching the sides of the palate. L is made with the tongue tip touching the alveolar ridge but the sides of the tongue away from the sides of the palate, so that the breath passes out laterally. The simplest way to go from t or d to l is leave the tongue tip on the alveolar ridge and only lower the sides, and that's what we do. It's called lateral explosion that we have explained in the previous videos, as in middle and little. The plural ending z and the past tense ending d can be added to the syllabic l, as in bottled and muddled. In all examples above, l is syllabic, but in words such as sadly and thoughtless, and in phrases bad light and straight line, where the l is not syllabic, the explosion takes place in the same way, with the tongue tip kept firmly on the alveolar ridge. The fourth type of final consonant sequences is consonant plus se, ze, t, or d. Because of the way in which regular plurals and regular past tenses are formed in English, there are many sequences of a consonant followed by se or ze and a consonant followed by t or d. A consonant followed by se or ze in which regular plurals are formed in English, as in lips and snakes. A consonant followed by t or d in which regular past tenses are formed in English, as in kissed and laughed. The fifth type of final consonant sequences is consonant plus th. Normally, th, d, n, and l are made with the tongue tip on the alveolar ridge, but when followed by th, they are made with the tongue tip touching the back of the upper teeth. It's then pulled away slightly to give the dental friction of th. In the words fifth and length, the tongue tip is placed in position for th during the previous consonant, so that there is no gap between them. All of these words may have then a plural s added, giving eighths, breadths, etc. The sixth type of final consonant sequences is let plus consonant. As we've said previously, before any consonant the let will be dark. In this sequence, the following consonant is formed whilst the let is being pronounced, as in help and fall. Also, the plural and past form lengthen some of these sequences as before, as in helps. The last type of final consonant sequences is nasal plus consonant. In sense and jump, the vocal organs are exactly or almost exactly the same position for the nasal as for the second consonant. In sense, the tongue tip is lowered slightly at the same time as the soft palate is raised to give this friction. In all of the cases, the tongue and lips remain in the same position in passing from the nasal to the following consonant. Finally, we have completed the final consonant sequences. There is one last type of consonant sequences, which is longer consonant sequences. We will deal with it in the next video in details. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get our last videos. I hope you've learned something useful. See you in the next video. Goodbye.